everyone, I'm Kelly and this is Kelly Hill Yoga, 30 days of yoga, day 14. Can't believe it, we're almost halfway. Tomorrow, that'll be the day. Today we are going to do a really nice practice to make us feel grounded and centered, and we're going to do so just by keeping it very natural and nice and easy, staying low on the mat today, just to get some nice stretches in since we focused so much on movement through postures over the past couple of days. Let's just ground ourselves and recenter before we move into the second half of this 30 days. So today you will need a strap. Don't freak out and think, oh my gosh, I have to go buy a strap. Log out of your Amazon right now, because I know that's probably where you're at. That's where I would be. All you need is a belt, towel, blanket, scarf, anything that you can like wrap around basically your foot and hold on either side that's long enough. Or even like the part to your robe that you tie around your waist, go grab that. Especially if you're a mama like me and you live in your robe during this quarantine, go grab the strap. You can tell everyone that you can work out wearing your robe. Anyways, let's refocus, recenter, get grounded today, and we will start on our back. Just lay down on your mat. And I do apologize, it probably will get dark out by the time we're done with this practice, so I'm sorry if it causes any undue glare or anything with my lighting. But let's just focus on the importance of today and this practice and really feeling our feet, backs of our legs, hips, shoulders, just whatever is touching the ground right now. We will physically feel it as we center and feel the energy that is coming back. Just through a few breaths, and with each exhale, just through a few breaths, and with each exhale, we'll release some tension that we might be having. Just to really become mindful and recentered as we spend some time together on the mat. When you're ready, grab your strap. Bring our soles of your feet to the ground, tucking that tailbone, so kind of shifting it up in order to pull your belly button towards the earth, really feeling your low back grounded and comfort. Sorry, I just need to adjust my mic really quick so I can find some grounding and comfort. We're going to take our strap and place it around our foot or the bottom of our foot, keeping that left leg bent and grounded. We're just going to grab either side of the strap and really open up the back side of that right leg. Remembering not to push anything too far where your body starts to say, please stop. Usually it's great to take a tiny little exhale and back off, especially if this is the first movement you've had of the day. We really don't want to cause any negative communication in our body. Just really staying comfortable, feeling that back of your hip just ground into the earth as we pull gently down on that strap. Tops of your arms, it's nice if you rest it on the ground. Just waking things up. If you would like, and it's not too much on the front side of your left hip, you can straighten through that left leg. Really separating the two legs. Just staying here. A nice one more round of breath. And then with your strap around your foot, keep it there, open up out to the right side. Now, it's totally okay if you have to have a nice generous bend in that knee. We're just opening up to the right, holding onto the strap with that right hand, shortening up, just finding whichever hold on your strap allows you to stay in this posture. If you need to rebend in that left knee, that's totally okay too. Just finding your posture and then grounding into it, so recentering. When you're ready, bend in that right leg, bring your foot back to the middle, and then keeping the strap just where it is. And I am going to need to transition to the side a little bit so my foot doesn't hit the wall. We're going to take your right foot and come over into a twist as you transition that right foot over to your left. Once again, generous bend in the knee if you need it, holding onto that strap. For instance, I need to shorten my grip. It's really nice to use a strap in some stretching postures because it can make you feel far more grounded, to have something to hold on to and close that current of energy. Really nice. Let's bend in that right knee, gently bring everything back to center. Take the strap off your right foot, sole the right foot to the mat, and take it to the other side. So strap goes around the bottom of your left foot, around the meaty parts, or up towards your toes, just not on your toes or generally your heel, just where you can feel that it's going to give you a nice little bit of an extra stretch in the back of your calf. And just, if you have a strap that's long enough, resting the tops of the arms on the ground as you just gently hold this posture, not pulling or cranking anything, just gently holding the posture. A little bit of a bend in the knee, not straightening and causing any craziness. If you'd like, straighten in that right leg, really feeling that separation and split between the two. Let's inhale and exhale, breathe into the back of that left hip or your left low back. Just really feeling the weight of your leg ground into the earth. Yes, I promise you, by the end of this practice, you will be tired of hearing me say ground, grounding, grounded. Sorry for that. Nice. Bend in that left knee and open up to the right. Once again, I have to shift so I don't hit the wall. Just really opening up the hip to the left. And my left side is really inflexible compared to my right. So I have to have a nice generous bend in my knee in order to open up this hip. And that's okay. Great, let's bend in that left knee, bring everything back to center. I'm going to shimmy over to back to the center of my mat. You can bring that right foot back in onto the sole of your foot or straighten out just however you wish. And then transition that left leg over to the right for a nice twist. It's okay if your foot is hovering off the ground. It doesn't have to touch. It's the purpose of the strap, like I talked about, creating that current, closing it. Finding that edge and backing off a little. This side is really waking up my IT band. Gently rebending that knee. Come back to the center. I'm going to just take a moment and lift both feet up to the sky. Strap wrapped around both feet. Nice and grounded. A little bit of a bend in the knee as we press our low back into the ground. Great. Unwind our feet from the strap, just set it off to the side. Hug both knees into the chest. Rock back and forth. Nice. Let's plant both feet on the ground. Just going to run through a few rounds of bridge. So feet about hip width apart. And drive through the bottom of your feet in order to reach your hips up to the sky. Really feeling the earth press back through the bottom of your feet. One long line from your knees down your spine. Really squeezing at the top and holding. Squeezing, still here, still holding, really finding our center, squeezing everything to midline. In fact, let's bend the elbows so we're up on the tops of the arms like similar when we had the strap earlier. And we're going to use that momentum to drive our hips a little bit higher. Just really feeling the energy as we press into the ground and feeding off that energy we're getting back. Keep holding. Really great job. Exhale, gently roll down one vertebrae at a time. tailbone last to touch. Beautiful. Hug the knees to the chest. And when you're ready, rock up to seated. Let's keep our left foot into our pelvis as we extend the right leg out. We are going to need our strap again. We are going to have our hips face our right foot. It's almost like our whole body and torso hanging out with the right foot. Take that strap, wrap it around that right foot again, and just gently keeping length in your spine. We're not pulling. Nice little micro bend in that right knee. Gently pull towards that right foot. We're only going to be here for a few rounds of breath, so please, please, please do not cause any undue strain or stress in this. The strap is not to force, it's just to guide us. Release that tension you might have been holding on the strap. Rise back up. Just to get a nice little counter movement, let's bring our left hand behind us. Reach that right arm up and overhead. Hips pulled forward. Really getting a nice little back bend. Exhale, bring everything back down. Let's take it to the other side. Right foot in. Left foot out. Shift our hips, coming up on our sit bones, nice and tall. Facing that left foot. Grabbing our strap. I'm sorry, this is like the most annoying little bell thing ever with the end of my strap. Wrapping around the bottom of our foot, keeping length in the spine. Micro bend in that knee, especially since we're using a strap. And transition to this left side. Heart, chest pulled towards the foot. It's not about reaching that nose necessarily to your knee and causing curvature in the spine. It's more about a forward motion, hinging at the hip. Just a few rounds of breath here. This is very similar to when we transition our foot to the outside, opening up the hip. Very similar sensation. Releasing the tension in that strap, gently rising back up. Not moving too swiftly. Let's place the right hand behind us, almost just a little bit behind that hip. Sweep the left arm up and overhead as we lift the hips to this little baby wild thing. Exhale, bring everything back down. Really nice. We're going to do cow legs. So we'll have our left or our right foot at our left hip and our left foot at our right. If this is too much for your knees, just hang out in child's pose. If your knees are up like this, that's totally okay. If you have a block handy, you can rest it here in between just so it's not so much tension. Just finding comfort, getting everything situated, staying nice and tall. And let's just fold forward, coming onto the forearms. Or just staying here, folding forward gently. Just wherever you wish to be. Really breathing into that left hip, grounding it. So with each exhale, let's melt your left hip into the earth. Gently come back up. Switch the legs. So left leg on bottom, right leg on top, or if you had your legs the other way, doesn't matter. You're not gonna get an F on the test if you started a different way. Just really setting up, knees stacked, grabbing that block if you need it in between your knees. Like I said before, please don't allow this to cause any discomfort. Just hang out in child's pose or any other posture you feel like you might need today. Or even a happy baby. That's a great grounding practice that we will finish with. If you'd like to add one right now, go ahead. So finding height in the spine and then just transitioning forward ever so gently. This time breathing into your right hip, keeping it as grounded as possible. Just with each breath, centering ourselves. Come back up. Seated position. Unravel the legs. Roll back onto our backs again. Move your props if they are in your way. Onto our back. Hug the knees into the chest. Rock back and forth. Let's keep the right knee into the chest as we extend the left leg out. Transition that right knee over to the left for one last twist. Gaze out to your right hand as you try to stay grounded through both shoulders. Coming back to the middle. Hug both knees in. This time keep the left knee into your chest. Extend that right leg out. Maybe you'll get a nice big hip pop like I just did. Transition that left knee over to the right. Try and keep both shoulders grounded as much as possible. Just exhale, really feeling the support of the earth, feeling the support of the mat. Great, let's come back to center. Grab the outside of the feet, Lift the feet up to happy baby. So elbows on the inside of the knees. The most grand posture to feel grounded and centered. Really grounded that lower back. Drive your heels forward as you pull your feet away. Just hanging out here. Or if you want to add any last little adjustments, moves, postures, go for it. And it's important to remind ourselves on days like this where we're not necessarily really building up vast amounts of energy and heat, that these practices that may seem quote unquote easy compared to others are just as important as the big vinyasa movements that we do. It's important to be mindful of what's happening with our bodies and showing love and appreciation each and every day, whether it's through movement or through just some simple stretches. Let's release the feet, bring them about hip width apart, soles of the feet on the ground, let the knees fall to the earth. One hand over your belly, one hand over your heart. Exhale, let the low back melt into the earth, shoulders, back of the head. Just feel supported. Being one with your breath. And if your mind has started to wander, reel it back in. If you have to, just mentally, silently tell yourself, inhale and exhale. When you're ready, let's roll back up to seated, coming onto one side. Sit bones really planted onto the ground and mat, head over heart. Inhale to rise and find length in your spine, hands at your heart space. Let's put a little gentle smile on our face and spend one last moment in gratitude for what our bodies just accomplished and gave us, and feeling supported and strengthened. Thank you, thank you, thank you for spending this time and energy with me today. As always, I love you.